Welcome back to my channel, Custom Scrapbook Design by Christy Stubbs. Well, to say time has gotten away from me is an understatement. I recorded this video probably a month ago now, and this video is just finishing up my series in 12 by 12 layouts that I had been working on for Halloween, and I'm utilizing the Pretty Little Studios Goosebumps collection. So in this video, I'm pretty much using up the last little bit of the papers that are definitely Halloween themed. There were several papers within this collection that weren't necessarily Halloween themed and will be able to be used throughout other layouts. So I stuck those in my stash of papers, and I do show those at the end of the video which papers I had left in this collection after doing this series of 12 by 12 layouts. So I decided to do two 12 by 12 layouts with the couple pieces of paper that I had left in this collection, and you can see that I cut the one into strips. I really like that triangle design, but the pattern is really busy, so I wanted to break that up a little bit, as well as the one that I'm cutting right now. It's a pretty busy pattern, and I just felt like pictures, may kind of get lost in all of that Halloween print. So I've got my layout pretty well thought out here, and for those of you who know me, you know that I like to ink my edges. I just feel like it really gives the pattern paper kind of a pop off of that back page. So as you can see, I've got kind of a smaller mat down in front of me. Now I picked up about a half a dozen of those at the dollar store, and I find them to be really useful for a lot of different things. And one of them that I like to use them for is actually for when I do my inking. Those domed daubers seem to kick off a lot of the foam or the ink when you ink your paper, so I tend to put them down right in front of me over my work surface to try and catch as much of that as possible to eliminate having black streaks on all of my pages and on whatever I'm working on. So now we're going to go ahead and line up the patterned paper, and I cut the bottom and top pieces utilizing the design of the paper so that I had like 2 rows of the triangle. And then I started to line those up using my Tim Holtz ruler. I actually just used a line on there to try and keep everything straight. I'm not always the best at lining things up and keeping them straight. And I wanted them to be even, being as just because of the layout of the page itself, I really wanted to make sure everything lined up nice and straight and even, and had even spacing between the papers. So I tend to use art glitter glue for a lot of my paper laying down now. It dries clear, and it really works well at holding down all the edges of your paper. If I'm not using that, I tend to use, for layouts anyway, I tend to use the Creative Memories tape runner, just depending on how much I have to adhere down. So I'm finishing matching up the second page to that first layout and getting everything evenly spaced and hooked down. I really enjoyed working with this collection. It was a fun collection to work with, and I got quite a few layouts out of that one paper pack. Now I'm going to go back into my solid paper stash and make some photo mats. And I think I started with the black here Again, this was so long ago I did this, I can't really remember what I was thinking, but apparently didn't think that the black was going to pop off the page well enough and lift the pictures. So I grabbed a coordinating solid orange from my stash and cut some photo mats. And those photo mats are cut at 4x6. So if you use a 4x6 photo, you're going to have to trim them down just ever so slightly. But I like the way that the orange really pops off that black background. Now I've opened up another piece of ephemera to try and see what kind of coordinating ephemera we can use. And I'm stamping the photo mats with the size, so whoever uses these or purchases these will know what size photo to put down. And again, I'm back to the inking the edges of the orange. Kind of just defines them a little bit better, makes them stand out with that white paper background. All right, so now we're going to look at the ephemera and see what else we can find after hooking those down. There I'm using the Creative Memories tape runner. Again, I use that a lot in my layouts. I use it for all the pictures and most of the smaller items. I kind of go back and forth between that and the art glitter glue. And I love my tool for lifting things back up. I'd never seem to get everything put exactly in place on the first try. All right, so now we'll look at some ephemera and see if we can add any pieces to the page. But I feel like the page itself is pretty busy, and I don't believe I end up using any of those pieces from that ephemera pack just because they don't really stand out on the page. So I'm going back to the ephemera pack I had opened before and used in previous videos to see if there's anything within that I could utilize on these pages. And I do find a few pieces that I like, and I backed them with some orange to kind of make them pop. So there's the final layout. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And thanks for watching.